Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin will survive. That's what doctors say. Being stabbed in prison. Let's give you the details on this. Derek Chauvin is expected to survive a stabbing attack in prison, officials say. This is the second high-profile stabbing of a federal prisoner since July, when convicted serial sexual abuser Dr. Larry Nassar, remember him, was stabbed by a fellow inmate at a penitentiary in Florida. So Chauvin is the latest. In case you don't remember the face that is attached to the body, that is attached to the knee, there he is. Former Minneapolis police officer was convicted of murdering George Floyd, was stabbed in prison by a fellow inmate on Friday. Minneapolis Attorney General's office has said Chauvin is likely to survive, right now in stable condition. Here's what we know. Chauvin was serving his punishment at a federal prison in Tucson when another person incarcerated there stabbed him and left him critically wounded at about 12:30 p.m. local time on Friday. The Guardian providing the details for us. Prison staff performed life-saving measures on Chauvin before he was brought to a hospital for treatment, the AP's reporting indicated. Staffing shortages, security lapses, they have plagued the Tucson prison where Chauvin was stabbed. Let's take a look at the mugshot. Remind you, no longer an officer, and you know why. Chauvin's family says they were kept in the dark regarding the details of the stabbing. Chauvin's mother, Carolyn Valenti, says this: how the hell do these news agencies know? And his own mother doesn't even know. And that prison has an emergency contact number for me, Valenti told the outlet. Valenti explained she's worried and scared about her son's condition. I can't even think what to say. I haven't been to bed and made a path in my kitchen and living room by pacing. New York Post with the quote there. Derek Chauvin's attorney says the ex-cop is a target for other inmates. Imagine being targeted by a body of people just because of a part of you, part of your past, or who you are, we'll say. Once a cop, always a cop. Imagine if you were just targeted just for being you. That's how Chauvin's attorney says his client feels. These inmates who want to make a name for themselves in the aftermath of the stabbing incident. Chauvin's attorney, Greg Erickson, said that his client's case makes him a target. There's a huge portion of the inmate population that wants to make a name for themselves by killing him. Lana Blackstar with the quotation there. What Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison says, well, we'll show you. Ellison: I am sad to hear that Derek Chauvin was the target of violence. Ellison told the outlet in a statement. He was duly convicted of his crimes, and like any incarcerated individual, he should be able to serve his sentence without fear of retaliation or violence. That's another quote that does strike me. Be able to live without fear, violence, retaliation. Wosny, Derek Chauvin is, well, he has a heart, I suppose, that beats. He's alive, he's breathing. And I don't want to ever subscribe to something where people are victimized in a way that they have victimized other people, right? But the mother's statements hit me as hard as they did the day she gave those mitigating statements that people give when someone's convicted and they want the judge to go light on them. She talked about him not being able to go home for a turkey dinner. She talked about not being able to hug him. Not once did she mention the murder victim, first name George, last name Floyd, leaving behind a daughter. So it's tough for me to feel sympathetic here, even though I believe prisons have to do better. A sentence is a sentence, and it shouldn't come with street justice, if you will, prison justice. What do you say?
Yeah, I would like to say, first of all, obviously, Derek Chauvin committed a heinous crime for which he deserves to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. I'm somebody who thinks prison is enough. I honestly don't believe in an eye for an eye sort of mentality, this idea that he should be, brutally murdered himself the way that he did George Floyd. I just don't think that's how an honorable society should function. I think this guy should be in prison, and prison is bad enough. And honestly, I analogize it to what's happening over there in Palestine. The Israeli government will come out and say, because of what these folks did, what Hamas did on October 7th, we should be able to go out and indiscriminately do anything in retaliation. I just don't believe in that type of mentality. So no, I don't think this guy should get stabbed to death in prison. But, I can't say that I'm sad that his stay in prison is, quite uncomfortable. That's the nature of how these things go.
I agree with you. And I don't believe in this either. Eye for an eye. But I want to focus on the reaction. I believe I called the mother daft. Okay? Vapid when she gave her statement in court about her little Derek missing again the Sunday dinner. And when I read the statements from the mother, the attorney, she's worried and scared. I haven't been to bed. They had my number. Why would the news find out before me? I can't help but to think of a little girl who doesn't have a father, and I'm sure she found out in a way that was horrific. The family of George Floyd, as his body was carted off to the hospital. Wonder when they found out, because a lot of other people knew he was dead. Chauvin's attorney, okay? He's a target. Well, I'll clue you in case you didn't know, I'm Black. And there's not a day that goes by that a Black man, Black woman, Black person leaves their house and doesn't in some way feel targeted. So that's my focus here, that I get it. You love your son, and I think children, moms, relatives should be off limits. God forbid, I'm going to love my daughter anyway. But it's just my Derek is more valuable than anyone else. The prison didn't just get like this, okay, Wosny? They've been like this. I wonder how much she cared before.
I can't speak to her thinking before. I will say, like you, I've known many a delusional and hysterical mom. So
that part.
I can't be surprised that this lady doesn't take anything else into account when thinking about her own son. I can't begrudge her for that. But like you, I would hope that she could find it in herself to think about the family that was victimized by her son and what they go through on a day-to-day, week-to-week, holiday-to-holiday basis. So, that's what I would hope for her.
Can I tell you something, Wosny?
Yes,
I've never met her. I have no right to say this, but I'm going to. She has not thought about the murder victim's daughter, the family. I haven't thought about them, okay? She's supporting the appeal, as I probably would, God forbid again, if that were mine. But she's still leaning on, in my view, white privilege. I want people to serve their sentences. If we must have all of these prisons and cages, and I don't want them hurt. But what do you think a knee does, by the way? How many minutes was it? And that wasn't the only incident that came up in his history, wearing blue, playing God. And so it's hard. I don't want to be this person, okay? It's the holiday season, but I can't help it. I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, I just hope that this guy, Derek Chauvin, keeps his head on a swivel and understands the serious predicament that he finds himself in. And this is the honest to God's truth. I really, truly do think it would be worse for him to fulfill that sentence than it would to die, to be quite honest. That's how abhorrent the prison system is. Like, it's one of these things that I tell folks, like, we can't be all about prison reform and treating inmates humanely and that type of thing when it's our own people. Like, we got to understand that the prison system is abhorrent. Like, this guy is going to go through it throughout the course of this sentence. I just hope for his own sake that he stays on his P's and Q's.
Yeah, mental health too. If he does survive, he'll probably be even more isolated. And remember, this is federal prison. It ain't state now. Okay. If you're getting stabbed in federal prison, can you imagine if, okay, remember he did that little, I'll plead to this. I want to serve my time federally. I would too. There's a salad bar, but apparently there are knives, shanks, something. And well, hopefully he'll recover and serve the rest of his sentence. One last thing, Mom, he did get a turkey dinner. Okay. They served him turkey Thanksgiving. And I saw it on TMZ. Okay.